Thank you Square-Enix for providing me with the code for SaGa Frontier 2 Remastered. I appreciate it. Now, on to the video. Not too long ago, on March 27th, during a Nintendo Direct, SaGa Frontier 2 Remastered was revealed. I was excited to see the trailer, and then blown away when we found out it was dropping the same day. Last year, I reviewed SaGa Frontier Remastered and really liked it, and since, I've been wanting to play the second one, but I held off because I knew the second one was going to get a remaster at some point. Well, it's happened, and I've completed SaGa Frontier 2 Remastered, and I don't know how I feel about this one. Let's get into it and you'll see what I'm talking about. I want to start by talking about the plot and how you progress through the game. SaGa Frontier 2 is split into two different stories happening simultaneously through one timeline. One character is Gustav, the son of a king that is outcasted from the kingdom with his mother by his father. This happens because it's believed Gustav does not have anima, which I basically translate as magic or the ability to use magic. The reason this is a big deal is because almost everything and everyone in the world has anima, so for the heir of a kingdom to not have it is a huge disgrace, or so Gustav's father believes. As you could probably gather, Gustav's tale involves dealing with being an outcast and one of the rare people in the world to not have anima. You'll experience his struggles and journeys and see how this tossed away prince lives out his life. The other character is Will, who is known as a digger, a popular profession in the land as diggers seek out quells, which are tools and equipment that contain high amounts of anima. At the very beginning, you'll discover that Will's father was killed, and throughout his journey, unravel the mystery of his father's murder, as well as his life as a digger. These stories are broken up into several chapters and gives the player the option of which chapters to choose. There's no right or wrong way to decide, so we're given a somewhat non-linear approach to storytelling and progression. Throughout these stories, you'll meet various characters, and even as the timeline moves on, you could end up meeting their offspring. Some characters will hold heavy weight to the plot, some will just be one and done. There's definitely a shit ton to keep track of, so be prepared to pay close attention and remember who they are. My thoughts on the overall story progression is that I found it too linear, which was pretty disappointing to me since I really enjoy the non-linear aspect of SaGa games. It's probably my fault for having a specific expectation, but just selecting chapters feels like I'm playing some mission mode game. It's just not very RPG-like to me. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I did find it pretty boring. And sometimes the names of the chapters will spoil what's going to happen. Like, it will tell you when a specific character is gonna die, and you're like, well, I guess that's not a surprise now, I just know he's gonna die before I even play the fucking chapter. This really pissed me off, and it was just a bad idea. As for the plots of our heroes, overall they're fine, but SaGa Frontier 2 faces the same issue as its predecessor, in which the stories are told with too broad of strokes. You get an understanding of what's happening, but very little depth, which makes it very hard for me to care about what's going on. Honestly, it feels like there's just an assumption that the player will care, rather than trying to get the player to care, which is just an awful way to tell a story. Now, that's not to say that maybe a few key plot points won't surprise you, cause some did for me, but it was not enough to keep me interested. Luckily, the SaGa combat is there to keep me involved and hooked. It has the classic Glimmer system, where new skills can be learned once building up your weapon level and just playing normally. I actually really love this combat system because a new skill can glimmer seemingly at almost any time, so I always have a little pocket of excitement for each combat. But SaGa Frontier 2 adds two new combat modes, Duels and Warfare. Duels are a one-on-one fight that requires you to enter a combination of actions to perform skills. Warfare is more like a strategy RPG, where you move units on a grid with the condition of defeating the enemy leader or all the bad guys. I found both modes to be a good attempt at mixing things up, but in the end, they weren't really necessary. For example, when I get into a combat and I have the option to fight as a party or duel a monster one-on-one, I'm gonna pick team battle every time, because I want my whole party to gain stats, not just one member. Duels just seem good for skill grinding or just making an encounter end faster. I do appreciate duels during the times you have one party member, but outside of that, I just did not care for them. And the warfare combats were fine, but there were so few of them that it just made me wonder why they were included in the first place. And there's one stupid fucking warfare encounter that I want to talk about. If you've beaten this game, you know which one I'm talking about, but I'm going to bring it up later. SaGa Frontier 2 also offers some unique character customization through the menu. Starting off with parameter inheritance, which is a new feature in the remastered version. You have the ability to add stats from one character to another. This is extremely useful as you'll be going back and forth so many times between parties. Also, if you have preferred character builds in mind, you can keep them going throughout an entire playthrough, no matter what characters you're using. And second, characters can be assigned roles, which grant an extra boon. It can be something as simple as increasing spell damage to increasing the chance to perform combos. These are cool additional features that I fully support and enjoy, as they offer a nice extra layer of combat approach and strategy. And since this is a remaster, the game offers more quality of life improvements, like the ability to increase the game speed and a new game plus mode, which I welcomed with open arms. Graphically, the game looks decent, I guess? It's not that it's bad, it's more of a personal taste. To me, it looks like a Game Boy Advance game with backgrounds that look hand-painted mixed with pixel sprites. The remastered version is very similar to the original PS1 version graphically. At first, I thought maybe Square did what they did with Legend of Mana Remastered and redraw the backgrounds, but then I researched the original SaGa Frontier 2, and that's not the case. And now that I said it out loud, I wish they did give it the Legend of Mana treatment. The music is really dope and a total vibe. Masashi Hamazu did a great job. As odd as this sounds, it reminds me of really good Super Nintendo RPG music, which is my favorite era of all RPG music. This music brought more mood and feeling than the game's story, that's for sure. To wrap up my thoughts, SaGa Frontier 2 Remastered is just subpar in my opinion. The combat is awesome, the quality of life improvements are great, but everything else falls flat in my eyes. The attempts of adding combat variety and more story dialogue is a great idea on paper, but were just very mid and uninteresting in the final product. If I were to compare it to the first SaGa Frontier Remastered, the first one is just miles better. I actually thought this game was okay, until I played a specific warfare combat. I'm not going to spoil which one it is, but this stupid fucking combat was so goddamn annoying that I was legit saying out loud, this game is bad. Obviously, it was additionally fueled by gamer rage, but as I said before, if you played it, you know which warfare I'm talking about, and if you haven't played it, you'll know it when you get there. This single warfare legit put a stain on this game for me, which is super rare for a game to make me feel that way from one combat. Have you played SaGa Frontier 2 Remastered? What did you think about it? Feel free to share your thoughts. Thank you for watching.